Envy often begins long before a person consciously recognizes it. It emerges when another person's qualities, possessions, opportunities, relationships, appearance, success, freedom, or recognition become psychologically connected to something the individual feels is missing from their own life. At its deepest level, envy is not simply wanting what someone else has. It is the painful comparison between another person's perceived advantage and one's own perceived deficiency. The mind looks outward and creates an internal equation in which someone else's success seems to highlight personal inadequacy. This is why envy can be strongest when the comparison involves something deeply connected to identity. A person may not care about another individual's success in an unfamiliar field, but watching someone succeed in an area where they desperately want recognition can create intense emotional discomfort. The other person's achievement becomes psychologically threatening because it seems to confirm an unwanted belief about the self. Envy can therefore exist alongside admiration. A person may genuinely respect someone while simultaneously feeling bitterness toward their success. They may celebrate externally while experiencing internal discomfort. Social comparison intensifies this process because people rarely evaluate themselves in isolation. They constantly receive information about how others look, live, earn, achieve, travel, connect, and succeed. The mind can then turn another person's highlight into evidence of personal failure. What makes envy particularly painful is that the comparison often ignores the complexity of another person's life. The person sees the outcome but not the circumstances, sacrifices, failures, privileges, limitations, or private struggles behind it. The deeper psychology of envy involves self-worth, scarcity, and identity. When self-worth is fragile, another person's advantage can feel like a reduction in one's own value. Recognition begins to feel limited, as though someone else's success has taken a position that should have belonged to you. This creates a scarcity mindset in which there is not enough beauty, love, status, opportunity, intelligence, or success for everyone. The mind begins treating other people's achievements as threats rather than information or inspiration. Envy can then produce comparison, criticism, withdrawal, subtle hostility, or the desire to see the successful person fail. Yet these reactions rarely resolve the underlying insecurity. Even if another person loses what they have, the individual's own sense of inadequacy remains. The healthier response is to investigate what the envy is revealing. Sometimes it identifies a genuine desire that has been neglected. Sometimes it exposes an insecurity that needs attention. Sometimes it reveals a value that the person has never given themselves permission to pursue. Envy can become useful when transformed into self-knowledge. Instead of asking why someone else has what you want, the deeper question becomes what their situation represents to you. Is it freedom, recognition, security, beauty, love, influence, achievement, or belonging? Once the underlying desire becomes visible, energy can shift from comparison toward purposeful action. The deepest psychological freedom comes from understanding that another person's success does not reduce the possibilities available to you. Someone else's beauty does not make you less valuable. Their achievement does not erase your potential. Their relationship does not determine your capacity to be loved. Envy begins to lose its power when comparison stops being a judgment of worth and becomes an opportunity for self-understanding. You do not need to become someone else to possess what matters to you. You need to discover what you genuinely value and build it through your own life.